Good morning, everyone. So I want to thank you for coming this morning, and I hope you will perceive how different this talk is going to be, because it's about Mozilla, and Mozilla is a very different organization from what you're probably used to. I'm going to discuss this morning Firefox OS. First, I want to quickly mention Mozilla. Mozilla is a group of people, a global community, and we're about openness, innovation, and opportunity for the internet. We're known for the Firefox web browser. We're approaching basically 500 million users in the world, mostly on desktop. And two things you need to remember if you want to understand Mozilla's plans and what we do and why we do it. Please remember that we are a non-profit organization. Because if you don't remember this, you will not understand what Mozilla is about. Because we do not have shareholders, and what we do it for the web. These are the two things you need to keep in mind, because we are a really different organization with a very different DNA. Something happened a few years ago. In red, you will see PC sales, and in blue, it's smartphone sales. Basically, in short, the PC market is stagnating, and the mobile has taken over. Which is, a bit of a challenge for Mozilla, of course, because our business is on the desktop. And it's also interesting because it's giving opportunities and really developing a new market, which is the smartphone market. So I've made this little table here with the different platforms for smartphones. Number one is Google, number two is Apple, and a lot of people are fighting for being the number 3 platform. If you probably have seen something similar on the desktop, on the PC market, where you have Microsoft being number 1, you have Apple being number 2, and you have Linux being number 3. And if you see the market shares on the PC market, you will see that there is a factor of basically 7 between number 1 and number 2, and another factor of 7 between number 2 and number 3, which basically means it's a 2-horse race. Only 2 platforms can compete. And I don't think it's very different on mobile. So the question is, does Mozilla want to be the number 3 here, with basically 2% market share? Probably not. And actually not. We do not want this to be. There is no point in being number 3. What we want is like on the desktop, we want the web to be number 1. There is no Facebook for Windows application right now. And it doesn't make any sense, right? When you use Facebook, you use it from your browser, and you don't care whether it's Firefox or Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Safari. What really matters is you're using Facebook and you're using it on the web. You don't care if you're running Linux or running Mac or running Windows, you're actually using Facebook, and that's what matters to the users. We want the same on mobile. We want the web to be the application platform for mobile. So we don't want to be in these things. We want the web to be the platform. We want the web to be the mobile platform. So how do we get there? Well, first is make a browser for Android, which is the leading platform on mobile. And actually, we're succeeding in a sense that Firefox for Android is now the best-ranked mobile browser in the Google Play Store, which is not a small achievement. It took us a little while to get there, but I think we've passed 45 million downloads on Android. The second thing that we want to do, if we want the web to be the best platform for developers, we need to improve the web, because there are tons of things that native applications on smartphones can do, and that mobile applications can do on the web. So, like, if you open up your smartphone, and I don't encourage you to do that, it would void your guarantee and probably break it in the process. You will see there are tons of things and sensors in there. You will see the multi-touch, you will see the microphone, the cameras, the speaker, the vibration motor, etc. Tons of these things, that are not accessible from a web page. So the thing that we had to do is to create APIs so that a web page from JavaScript can access these sensors. But because we're Mozilla, we're a non-profit organization, and we care about the web, what we did there is standardize within the W3C, the standardization organization for the web, is to standardize these things so that other vendors can use them, and that developers can use the same features on any browser that they use. And finally, we do Firefox OS. Firefox OS is a complete standalone operating system for the open web. It is built with HTML5 and standard web APIs. Basically, everything that you see on a Firefox OS device is a web page. It doesn't look like a web page, but it is a web page. It's JPEG photos or GIF and JavaScript and cascading style sheet CSS and HTML5. All you see is a web page. And the way it is done is this. It's basically, I don't get into the stack, but it's a very compact stack, so little software running, less than Android, for example. And so it's basically the Linux kernel, Gecko, the technology by Mozilla, and HTML5 applications on top of it. What's interesting with this, it's because the software stack is so compact, you don't need very powerful hardware to run it. Actually, right now, we have launched in many countries, but in Spain, for example, you can get a Firefox OS phone with a paid card, no subsidies, for 69 euros. And it includes 30 euros of communication. That basically you get a smartphone for $39, for 39 euros, sorry. So it's really inexpensive for a smartphone. And of course, part of the experience which is expected by the user is a marketplace, an app store. Basically, if you ask someone in the street what a smartphone is, and if you ask him to describe what it is, you would say, well, it's a kind of a rectangle, it's black, and there's a screen, you can touch it. So rectangle, touch screen, and of course, you can install applications that you download from a marketplace. So we needed a marketplace. So we did a marketplace. What's interesting with the marketplace is you can have several marketplaces. One is operated by Mozilla, because you need at least one. But very interestingly, we do not want to be the gatekeeper. We do not want to be the gatekeeper of the internet or the applications. I think it is very troubling that someone can allow me or not allow me to run software on my device if I pay for it. So we don't want to be the only place where you can get applications. We want the web to be the actual marketplace. But if people want a marketplace, we'll give them a marketplace. But also users will be able to use and install applications that come from all over the web, because it's the web. It's not about controlling the users. It's about empowering the users. This is what we want. And so what's in there for users? First, they care about the price. So it's going to be an affordable smartphone. It's also going to bring more hardware choices, no gatekeepers. If they want to download an app, they can do it from the marketplace, or they can do it from any website. And there's a very cool feature called the adaptive app search, which is the ability to type a keyword on your phone and get a list of applications that go with your keyword. And if type, I don't know, like the Rolling Stones, for example, it will show you application, it will show you a Wikipedia application so that you learn more about the Rolling Stones, but it will also show you SoundCloud to listen to some music related to the Rolling Stones, and Ticketmaster, because you could buy tickets for a concert of the Rolling Stones. And you can try these applications right away and then decide whether you want to install them or not after the fact. So that's a very, very innovative feature for the users. For developers, it's a really big deal because it's HTML5 applications. Developers love HTML5 in the sense that they already have to write applications for Android and also for the iPhone. And what they currently do, many of them actually use HTML5 and wrap HTML5 and to make it look like native applications, but they want to maintain only a single code base, and for this they use HTML5. So for many developers, it's not a transition. It has already started, actually. So they're really looking forward to having HTML5 natively on phones. They can sell direct, which is quite a big deal for them. And it's for them, the platform does not belong to one commercial company. It's the web, it's universal, and it belongs to everybody. And finally, for carriers, well, the fact that we empower users to create applications, because it's HTML5, it's really easy to create an application. How many people, know already how to create an application on the web? Millions of them, more than Android developers. So you get to get a long tail of applications that can be very local. So it's good because you have very local applications for your consumers. You're not competing with a platform owner that may or may not want to let you as a carrier to control the experience. And finally, you have the ability to operate a section of the Firefox marketplace. So in order to launch Firefox OS, we have a long list of partners, hardware manufacturers, carriers. In terms of hardware, we already have 3 devices being sold on the market. We launched in Brazil 2 days ago, and they're also available in Colombia, Venezuela, Spain, and Brazil, thanks to our partner Telefónica. Poland, Germany, that we've launched with Deutsche Telekom. And we have at least, well, I don't know, is it 3 or 5 more countries to come before the end of the year. So this is rolling out as we speak. For which customers? Right now, our carrier partners tell us that the biggest market is with people who are upgrading from feature phones, because 2 billion people will be getting online within the next 5 years, and then they're not going to use desktop PCs. They're going to get online using smartphones, and we want to provide them with smartphones that can use the web. So feature phone users, that runs on inexpensive hardware, and we're starting to climb in the ladder of hardware. For example, in Brazil, with the new LG device, we're getting a bigger screen, a little more expensive hardware, and we're getting to more expensive hardware. So here's my call to action. 3 things that you can do now. First, if you develop mobile web applications, consider writing application in HTML5, and for this, you can put them on a marketplace, which is marketplace.firefox.com. There's a lot of documentation on how to do this. It's actually extremely simple. The second thing is you can get in touch with our business development team here at Mozilla. I have my colleague Remco here on the front. Hi, Remco. So Remco is here if you want to go and talk to him. He's the right guy. And finally, I'm sure there are a lot of bright people in this room, and we hire. So come and work for Mozilla, either as a paid staff or a volunteer. Thank you very much.